Welcome to the Solemn YuGiOh channel, where we discuss everything collecting and investing in Yu-Gi-Oh! Today we got some insane news. Honestly, it doesn't seem that big, but it is really big. We are now allowed to double sleeve when playing in Yu-Gi-Oh! Events. Now, if you don't know what that means, essentially, instead of having a card in a sleeve, you now have a card in a sleeve in another sleeve. For the longest time, this wasn't allowed. When I got into Yu-Gi-Oh! I was like, wait, you can't? What the hell? Because I came from Vanguard. This was so normal to me, it actually blew my mind that it wasn't allowed in Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, this video will go over two things. First of all, we'll just go over what's the best way to double sleeve in my opinion, and then market dynamics. Because yes, this may actually affect the market in a weird way. So firstly, like I said, my primary game to play is Vanguard. We have been double sleeving there for years. So I do think I have some input for people who have never really been into double sleeving because they've always played Yu-Gi-Oh! So which sleeves would I use for double sleeving? These bad boys. Dragon Shield, Clear, Standard, Matte. Now, full disclosure, at one point I was sponsored by Dragon Shield on my Vanguard channel as a Vanguard player. But I had been recommending these long before that. I had also been asked by other sleeve brands whether they could send me some stuff. I said no, because I love my Dragon Shield so much, and I contacted them, and I never got money. So, full disclosure. But I think these are the best. Literally so good that I turned down actual money from other sleeve brands because I couldn't help myself. I couldn't change. That's how good I think these are. So what you essentially do is, you take your regular sleeved card, and you put this one on there the other way. Now, why do I prefer these? Well, a lot of people may say, oh, there's a lot of good Japanese brands. And for some people, they are good. Definitely, I have nothing against them. Something like the KMC Hyper Mats. Some people say maybe the Broccolis. Some people may say completely different stuff. That's fine. Personally, a lot of these Japanese brands are glossy, and so they get very sticky, and I hate shuffling with those. But again, that's personal opinion. They also tend to get very dirty very quickly if they're like gloss on both sides. So watch out with that. I just really like these matte ones. They shuffle so easily. Now, some people may say they're slightly too big because yes, a standard card sleeve, even when going over a sleeved Japanese card sleeve, still has a little bit of wiggle room. Now, I will say with these, you can press them a bit. Not obviously damaging your card, but you can press the sleeved card inside of it and press like this a bit, and then you will essentially make it vacuum and it will hold itself together really nicely. I honestly have never had issues with cards like slipping out or anything like that. So yeah, if you need a brand recommendation, I would recommend these ones every day of the week. I've been using them for years in Vanguard, and honestly, playing a card game without them on feels super alien now. Actually, I was at Vanguard Worlds and we were no longer allowed to use double sleeving, and it was just the most awful experience from a sleeving perspective. So that's what I had to endure whenever trying to play Yu-Gi-Oh! As well. Holy hell. Now, for the market, I will say, obviously, this will not fluctuate prices to the moon or to zero. This will not do anything crazy. But passively, over time, we may actually see a few things change. Now, the first obvious one is the sleeve market. If you know or don't know, OCG sleeves are very flimsy. Honestly, even like the YCS or the regional sleeves that you have, those are very flimsy as well. I use them on tokens because I double sleeved tokens because I would never put them on a deck, because on a deck they would just die. So now that you can actually protect your sleeves with another sleeve, yeah, imagine the sleeves aren't just protecting your cards, you need some way to protect the pretty sleeves as well. Now perhaps those prices will rise. Suddenly people go like, well, I've always been using Ultra Pro or Dragon Shield or whatever Japanese sized card sleeves because I couldn't use the fancy ones. The fancy ones would die within a day. Now they won't. Now you can just keep using them. And so yeah, the demand may grow there. Maybe suddenly you will start seeing a lot more character sleeves and stuff like that. You had the Dark Magician Girl sleeves come out recently. I'm sure Konami will actually start releasing more of such character sleeves now that the demand may actually increase there as well. So definitely watch out for that. It is very possible that those prices will slightly rise as the demand rises. But of course, that's not the cards. Why would this affect cards? Now, this will be way less direct. Your sleeves, obviously, demand just instantly goes up, supply will go down, boom, easy stuff, right? But on cards, there's another effect. Maybe you personally didn't feel this, but I felt this, and many other people I've talked to feel this. But maxing out a deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! That you're about to play feels a bit odd to people. Personally, I didn't want to max a Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck ever, because I knew, wow, this is an expensive card. And with this single flimsy sleeve, Yu-Gi-Oh cards are pretty flimsy already. When you start shuffling and playing, they're just gonna deteriorate so damn fast. Dust and bullshit can enter the top of your sleeve. They can kind of slide out. They get shuffled, riffle shuffled, mash shuffled, whatever you want to name it. And they're just not quite as safe. Meanwhile in Vanguard, again, double sleeving, I can do whatever the hell I want. My cards are safe. Now in Yu-Gi-Oh, we may actually start seeing a demand in higher rarity cards over time. And not huge, but like enough because your cards are safer. It will become, I think, a bit less weird to put in those collector's rares into your deck and to put those ultis into your deck now that you know, okay, they're slightly more protected. Now again, this is not going to be a huge major thing, I think. Well, maybe it will be, but I doubt that. But you know, it will have effect. There's that subset of the market that could never bring themselves to maxing out decks because they knew these cards are gonna get utterly fucked. Especially if these people played a Buddy Fight or a Vanguard or a Dragon Ball Super or anything like that before. I actually don't know if Dragon Ball Super can double sleeve, I just assume that. So yeah, some collectors will feel much more comfortable now, probably maxing out decks, because the cards will no longer get completely destroyed by playing. And so that may gradually increase the market in those areas. Not by a much, not super fast, but you know, it's a slight tilt in demand, I want to say. That is all. Hope you found it interesting. Like, subscribe, and I will see you soon. Ciao.